Inquisitor, meet Hawke, the Champion of Kirkwall.
Though I don't use that title much anymore.
Hawke, the Inquisitor. I figured you might have some friendly advice about Corypheus. You and I did fight him, after all.
You've already dropped half a mountain on the bastard. I'm sure anything I can tell you pales in comparison.
Oh, I don't know. You did save a city from a horde of rampaging Kunari.
I don't see how that really applies. Or is there a horde of rampaging Kunari I don't know about?
There's a Kunari. He almost qualifies as a horde all by himself. Fortunately, he's on our side.
So, then, what can I tell you?
Varric said that you fought Corypheus before.
Fought and killed. The Grey Wardens were holding him, and he somehow used his connection to the Darkspawn to influence them.
Corypheus got into their heads, messed with their minds, turned them against each other.
If the Wardens have disappeared, they could have fallen under his control again.
If that's what happened to the Wardens, do you think we can free them?
It's possible, but we need to know more first. I've got a friend in the Wardens. He was investigating something unrelated for me. His name is Loghain. The last time we spoke, he was worried about corruption in the Warden ranks. Since then, nothing.
Corypheus would certainly qualify as corruption in the ranks. Did your friend disappear with them?
No. He told me he'd be hiding in an old smuggler's cave near Crestwood.
If you didn't know about Corypheus, what were you doing with the Wardens?
The Templars in Kirkwall were using a strange form of lyrium. It was red. I'd hoped the Wardens could tell me more about it.
Corypheus had Templars with him at Haven. They looked like they'd been exposed to the lyrium you describe.
Hopefully, my friend in the Wardens will know more.
I'll take any lead I can get at the moment.
Good. I'll do whatever I can to help. Corypheus is my responsibility. I thought I'd killed him before. This time I'll make sure of it. It's just us. I brought the Inquisitor.
Warden Loghain McTeer. I believe we have a common cause, Inquisitor.
There was a Loghain who joined the Wardens after he lost Ferelden's throne.
The traitor Terran. Yes. I've heard all the names.
Then that's you?
I've been a Warden for 10 years. They will never fully consider me theirs. Something I've had cause to be grateful for recently.
I'll take all the help I can get. I know the Wardens have troubles of their own. I wonder, though, might those troubles have anything to do with Corypheus?
I believe so. After Hawke killed Corypheus, Weishaupt was content to forget the whole affair. If an archdemon can survive seemingly mortal wounds, why not Corypheus? I began to investigate. I found evidence, but no proof. And then, soon after, every Warden in Orlais began to hear the calling.
I recall that being a bad thing. But I don't recall you telling me about all this.
I didn't believe it concerned you.
Is the calling some sort of Grey Warden ritual?
The calling is a portent, like crows circling the battlefield before the fighting. It tells the Warden that his time has come. First are the dreams, and then a voice whispers in the back of the Warden's head, just at the edge of hearing. And that is when the Warden goes down to the deep roads, to die with honor.
And every Grey Warden in Orlais is hearing that right now. They think they're dying.
Yes. Thanks to Corypheus, I believe. If the Wardens fall, who will stop the next blight? That is what's panicked my brethren.
And then they do something desperate. Which is, of course, what Corypheus wants.
Is the calling they're hearing real? Or is Corypheus mimicking it somehow?
I don't know. Even as a senior warden, I knew little about him. The Wardens believe it to be real, despite my warnings about Corypheus. That is all that matters at the moment.
You said all the Wardens are hearing the calling. Does that include you? And also you, Blackwall?
Yes. It's like an itch at the back of my mind. At times, it's barely there at all. But then I find myself starting to hum it under my breath. It is vile. I can understand why so many Wardens have gone mad from fear of it.
I do not fear the calling. And worrying about it only gives it power. Anything Corypheus does will only strengthen my resolve.
How can Corypheus make all these Wardens hear the calling?
I don't know. It's likely part of his nature. Corypheus is, or was, once a mortal man. The Blight owns him, but it did not create him. Wardens are tied to the Blight through the Darkspawn. That is how Corypheus influences Warden minds. Somehow he is using that power to mimic the calling.
So the Wardens are making some last, desperate attack on the Darkspawn.
A Blight nearly destroyed Ferelden. A Blight without Wardens to stop it might well destroy the world. Warden Commander Clarel proposed a ritual involving blood magic. A desperate measure to prevent further blights. And I protested the plan, called it madness. They tried to arrest me. Grey Wardens are gathering here, in the western approach. It's an ancient Tevinter ritual tower. Meet me there, and we will find answers. Good. Whatever's happening has already started. We saw lights coming from the tower.
Blood magic, I'd wager. You can smell it. Or see the corpses. You take point. I'll guard your backs.
Wait! No.
Warden Commander Clarel's orders were clear.
This is wrong!
Remember your oath. In war, victory. In peace, vigilance. In death,
I'm sorry.
sacrifice. Good. Now bind it just as I showed you. Inquisitor, what an unexpected pleasure. Lord Livius Erimond of Virantium, at your service.
You're no warden, mage.
But you are. The one Clarel let slip. And you found the Inquisitor and came to stop me. Shall we see how that goes?
It looks like you've already done some of my work for me.
What, him? We simply needed his blood. Oh, were you hoping to garner sympathy? Maybe make the Wardens feel a bit of remorse? Wardens, hands up! Hands down.
Corypheus controls them.
They did this to themselves. You see, the calling had the Wardens terrified. They looked everywhere for help.
In desperation, they turned to the Imperium.
Yes, and since it was my master who put the calling into their little heads, we in the Venatori were prepared. I went to Clarel full of sympathy, and together we came up with a plan. Raise a demon army, march into the deep roads, and kill the old gods before they wake.
Ah, I was wondering when the demon army would show up.
You knew about it, did you? Well then, here you are. Sadly for the Wardens, the binding ritual I taught their mages has a side effect. They're now my master's slaves. This was a test. Once the rest of the Wardens complete the ritual, the army will conquer Thedas.
Do you really want to see the world fall to the Blight? What do you get out of this?
The Elder One commands the Blight. He is not commanded by it, like the mindless Darkspawn. The Blight is not unstoppable or uncontrollable. It is simply a tool.
Somebody's certainly a tool.
As for me, while the Elder One rules from the Golden City, we, the Venatori, will be his god-kings here in the world.
So Corypheus influenced the Wardens and made them do this ritual?
Made them? No! Everything you see here, the blood sacrifices to bind the demons, the Wardens did it of their own free will. Fear is a very good motivator, and they were very afraid.
That's a lie. The Grey Wardens are heroes. They would never do this willingly.
The Grey Wardens care about nothing save stopping blights. They will do anything to accomplish that. You should have seen Clarel agonize over the decision. Burdens of command, I suppose.
Why would the Wardens try to kill the old gods?
A blight happens when Darkspawn find an old god and corrupt it into an archdemon. If someone fought through the deep roads and killed the old gods before they could be corrupted, poof, no more blights, ever. The Wardens sacrificed their lives and saved the world. Although I fear history will remember them a little differently now.
Why would Clarel risk using demons?
Demons need no food, no rest, no healing. Once bound, they will never retreat, never question orders. They are the perfect army to fight through the deep roads. Or across Loghain. Now they are bound to my master.
Release the Wardens from the binding and surrender. I won't ask twice.
No, you won't. The Elder One showed me how to deal with you in the event you're foolish enough to interfere again. That mark you bear, the anchor that lets you pass safely through the veil, you stole that from my master. He's been forced to seek other ways to access the Fade. When I bring him your head, his gratitude will be... Ah! Kill them!
So, that went well.
As you feared, the mages who completed the ritual are under the thrall of Corypheus.
And the Warden warriors? Oh, of course. It's not real blood magic until someone gets sacrificed.
Human sacrifice? Demon summoning? Who looks at this and thinks it's a good idea?
The fearful and the foolish.
Despite their lack of wisdom, they acted out of necessity.
All blood mages do. Everyone has a story they tell themselves to justify bad decisions. And it never matters. In the end, you are always alone with your actions.
In the direction Erimond fled, the only structure of note is an abandoned Warden Fortress, Adamant. I suspect we'll find the Wardens there. I suppose it's fortunate a friend once gave me some old maps.
Good thinking.
The Warden and I will scout out Adamant and confirm that the other Wardens are there. We'll meet you back at Skyhold.
Wardens! We are betrayed by the very world we have sworn to protect!
The Inquisition is inside, Clarel. We have no time to stand on ceremony.
These men and women are giving their lives, Magister. That might mean little in Tevinter, but for the Wardens, it is a sacred duty. It has been many long years, my friend.
Too many, Clarel. If my sword arm can no longer serve the Wardens, then my blood will have to do.
It will.
Stop them! We must complete the ritual!
Farrell! You complete that ritual! You're doing exactly what Erimond wants!
What? Fighting the Blight? Keeping the world safe from Darkspawn? Who wouldn't want that? And yes, the ritual requires blood sacrifice. Hate me for that if you must, but do not hate the Wardens for doing their duty!
We make the sacrifices no one else will. Our warriors die proudly for a world that will never thank them.
And then he takes your mage's minds for his real master, Corypheus.
Corypheus? But he's dead.
These people will say anything to shake your confidence, Clarel.
Bring it through!
Please. I've seen more than my share of blood magic. It is never worth the cost.
I betrayed the Wardens once and it cost me everything! Are you mad enough to think I'd do it again?
Be ready with the ritual, Clarel. This demon is truly worthy of your strength.
Blackwall, can you talk some sense into them?
You don't know me, but you may have heard my name. Like you, I've given my life to the Grey Wardens. The first time I put on this armor, I felt like I belonged. Like I was part of something honorable. Something with a purpose. I know how good that feels. How safe. But fighting and dying here today won't stop the Blight. If you want to stop the Blight, kill that bastard up there! His master is the living embodiment of its corruption.
Clarel, we have come so far. You're the only one who can do this.
Perhaps we could test the truth of these charges to avoid more bloodshed.
Or perhaps I should bring in a more reliable ally. My master thought you might come here, Inquisitor. He sent me this to welcome you.
destroyed the Grey Wardens.
You did that to yourself, you stupid bitch. All I did was dangle a little power before your eyes, and you couldn't wait to get your hands bloody. You could have served a new god.
I will never serve the Blight!
What happened?
We were falling. If this is the afterlife, the Chantry owes me an apology. This looks nothing like the Maker's bosom.
No. The Inquisitor opened another rift with the Mark. This is the Fade.
The Fade looked much different the last time I was here. Perhaps it's because we're here physically, instead of just dreaming. The stories say you walked out of the Fade at Haven. Was it like this?
I don't know. I still can't remember what happened the last time I did this.
Well, whatever happened at Haven, we can't assume we're safe now. That huge demon was right on the other side of that rift Erimond was using, and there could be others.
In the real world, the rift producing the demons was nearby in the main hall. Can we return to the world through that?
Beats waiting around for demons to find us, right? There, let's go.
Impossible.
I greet you, Warden. And you, Champion.
Divine Justinia. Most holy.
Cassandra.
Cassandra, you knew the Divine. Is this really her?
I don't know. It is said the souls of the dead pass through the Fade and sometimes linger, but we know the spirits lie. Be wary, Inquisitor.
That can't be the Divine. It's most likely a demon.
You think my survival impossible, yet here you stand alive in the Fade yourselves. In truth, proving my existence either way would require time we do not have.
Really? How hard is it to answer one question? I'm a human, and you are?
I am here to help you. You do not remember what happened at the Temple of Sacred Ashes, Inquisitor.
The real Divine would have no way of knowing that I'd been made Inquisitor.
I know, because I have examined memories like yours, stolen by the demon that serves Corypheus. It is the nightmare you forget upon waking. It feeds off memories of fear and darkness, growing fat upon the terror. The false calling that terrified the Wardens into making such grave mistakes? Its work.
And perhaps I owe this nightmare a visit.
You will have your chance, brave Warden. This place of darkness is its lair.
Corypheus seems to have a lot of demons at his disposal. How does he command so many?
I know not how he commands his army of demons. His power may come from the Blight itself, but the nightmare serves willingly. For Corypheus has brought much terror to this world. He was one of the Magisters who unleashed the first Blight upon the world, was he not? Every child's cry as the Archdemon circles. Every dwarf's whimper in the deep roads. The nightmare has fed well.
Can you help us get out of the Fade?
That is why I found you. When you entered the Fade at Heaven, the demon took a part of you. Before you do anything else, you must recover it. These are your memories, Inquisitor. Why are you doing this? You, of all people!
Keep the sacrifice still.
Someone, help me!
What's going on here?
So Andraste didn't bestow her mark upon you, it came from the orb Corypheus used in his ritual.
Corypheus intended to rip open the veil, use the anchor to enter the Fade, and throw open the doors of the Black City. Not for the old gods, but for himself. When you disrupted his plan, the orb bestowed the anchor upon you instead.
I never thought Andraste did this. I did this myself, through my actions. No maker required.
And now you may be certain. You cannot escape the lair of the nightmare until you regain all that it took from you. You have recovered some of yourself, but now it knows you are here. You must make haste. I will prepare the way ahead.
Is there a problem, Hawke?
I wondered if you might be concerned about the Grey Wardens holding the Divine in that vision. Their actions led to her death.
Corypheus had clearly taken the Warden's minds. You yourself have seen them do this. In any case, we can deal with that after we escape.
Oh, I intend to.
Breach back in Haven. That's how I escaped.
The demon!
Keep running!
Ah!
thought it was Andraste sending me from the Fade. It was the Divine behind me. And then you... she died.
Yes.
We've been following a demon, then.
You don't say.
I am sorry if I disappoint you.
Are you a memory of the Divine? A reflection?
If that is the story you wish to tell, it is not a bad one.
What we do know is that the mortal Divine perished at the temple, thanks to the Grey Wardens.
Corypheus controlled them. We've discussed this already. This spirit has no further revelations. We should work on getting back to Adamant alive.
Assuming that the Wardens and their demon army didn't destroy the Inquisition while we were gone.
I see. Atrocities are your purview alone.
You tore Kirkwall apart and started the Mage Rebellion.
To protect innocent mages, not madmen drunk on blood magic. But you'd ignore that, because you can't imagine a world without the Wardens, even if that's what we need.
The Wardens are a risk. Send them away before they cause even more trouble.
What are you saying? You want to get rid of the Wardens? Everyone makes mistakes. They would have died to save us.
I don't know what to tell you. There are a few good ones, but an awful lot of the Wardens I've known went crazy.
This debate can wait until we're out of danger.
Inquisitor.
The nightmare has found us.
Form up!
I'm with you.
If you would, please tell Leliana. I am sorry. I failed you too.
No, you were right. The Wardens made this mistake. A Warden must...
A Warden must help them rebuild. That's your job. Corypheus is mine.
Loghain.
Fight well. You will not die while I draw breath.
For the Warden!
She was right. Without the nightmare to control them, the mages are free and Corypheus loses his demon army. Though as far as they're all concerned, the Inquisitor broke the spell with the blessing of the Maker.
Once they understand what really happened...
They'll be terrified. I, for one, am tired of giving fear demons anything to feed on. Let them have their story.
Inquisitor, the Archdemon flew off as soon as you disappeared. The Venatori Magister is unconscious but alive. Cullen thought you might wish to deal with him yourself. As for the Wardens, those who weren't corrupted helped us fight the demons. We stand ready to help make up for Clarel's tragic mistake. Where is Loghain?
Warden Loghain died striking a blow against the servant of the Blight. We will honor his sacrifice, and remember how he exemplified the ideals of the Grey Wardens, even as Corypheus and his servants tried to destroy you all from within.
Inquisitor, we have no one left of any significant rank. What do we do now?
You stay and do whatever you can to help. Loghain died for the ideals of the Wardens. In war, victory. And we are still at war. Do you believe the Wardens can still help?
I do, your worship.
You're still vulnerable to Corypheus, and possibly his Venatori. But there are plenty of demons that need killing.
After all that, you give them yet another chance?
While they do that, I'll inform the Wardens at Weishaupt what's happened. Best they not get caught off guard.
Thank you, your worship. We will not fail you.
Good luck with your Inquisition. Try not to start an exalted march on anything. And take care of Varric for me.
Hawke sent me one final report. She's on her way to Weishaupt. As for the Grey Wardens, they are fighting demons and Red Templars while staying clear of Venatori. You dealt Corypheus a significant blow, Inquisitor.
The Grey Wardens carry respect in other nations. If we spread the word that the Inquisition has their support...
We may gain standing with nations that have suffered under the Blight. I will take the matter to Josephine. You took an army from Corypheus, but that will matter little if Orlais falls into chaos. All arrangements have been made for the ball in Halam Shiral. Let us know when you are ready to proceed.
Remind me what we know about the plot against Selene.
The Venatori are planning some kind of attack on the Imperial Court. Corypheus may even be fueling the conflict between the Empress and her cousin, Grand Duke Gaspard. If we warn Selene, she may prove a most valuable ally against Corypheus.
Where can I find the Empress?
She's holding a grand masquerade ball at her winter palace in Halam Shiral. Your invitation has been arranged. That is where the Venatori will strike. Speak with us when you are ready. What was she like? Divine Justinia, or her soul, or the spirit that took her form. I read your report. I know it isn't clear, but...
She seemed calm, serene even. And she guided us the whole way through.
That does sound like her.
She did ask me to tell you something, though. She said, "I'm sorry. I failed you too."
Oh. I should finish this before it slips my mind. Perhaps later we might discuss the matter further. Thank you. Inquisitor. I have been thinking. You remember everything now, yes? The explosion at Haven, the Fade, escaping the breach. In your report, you said Justinia was with you. But only you emerged in the end. Why? Why were you the only survivor?
She knew it was either her or me. And she wanted me to live.
Of course. Of course she did. That's just like her. Her message to me. I failed you too. I'm not sure I understand what that means. Did you say anything else? Anything at all? Please, if you remember.
I'm sorry, Leliana. That was it.
There are no answers in the Fade. Only illusions. A warped mirror. Justinia has never failed me. I was her left hand. Now she's dead. I failed her.
Writing does not come naturally to me, as I'm certain you can imagine.
Let me guess, you're composing a love poem.
I couldn't, not even if my life depended on it.
It's not that hard.
Yes, it is. Poetry takes finesse, it takes grace.
Do you think you don't have those things?
Historians will one day ask what happened at Adamant Fortress, in the Fade. I was there. I saw it with my own eyes. It must be recorded.
Fair enough. Just be careful what you write.
Do not be concerned. I am a poor writer, but not unaware of the weight my words might carry. I still don't know what to say about the spirit of the divine. I saw her there, heard her voice, yet I cannot claim with certainty it was really her. The Chantry teaches us that the souls of the dead pass through the Fade, so it could have been her. Yet even so...
Do you really think it might have been her? A ghost?
A ghost. A remnant of her hopes and memories. Her lingering will to do good. Those things are all possible. Nobody knows for certain what happens after we die. A spirit could have assumed her form, but why? It helped you, as Justinia herself would have.
I don't know the truth any more than you do.
Sadly, unanswered questions make for poor reading. When I realized we were physically in the Fade, I was terrified, almost beyond reason. The last time such a thing happened, we created Darkspawn. We created Corypheus. The world needs to know the truth this time. No more legends lost to the ages. I can keep staring at this, but I won't get any closer.
Keep banging your head against the problem. It'll go away eventually.
I'm predictable, I know. I suppose I'll never find them on my own. We saw so many Red Templars at the assault on Haven. Perhaps all that was left of the Order. What we didn't see was Lord Seeker Lucius. Indeed, I've seen no hint of any Seekers amongst the Red Templars, or anywhere. I have a growing suspicion Corypheus has imprisoned them.
Why imprisoned? He could just as easily have killed them.
Not easily. But yes, they may be dead. But the Seekers began this war against the mages. They cannot have simply vanished. There must be a trail we can follow, yet so far I have only discovered hints.
But they could have ended up just like the Red Templars.
Seekers do not use lyrium. I assume Corypheus gained control of the Templars by corrupting the lyrium they were already taking. To do the same to a Seeker, you'd have to force the lyrium upon him. That may be what happened, but it couldn't have begun that way. We're missing a piece of the puzzle, Inquisitor. I need to find it.
Finding them obviously means a lot to you.
I left the Order, but I can never abandon them. I cannot even claim that rescuing them would be beneficial. They wouldn't look kindly on the Inquisition. But even so, if there's a chance... If we can spare resources to follow up on these leads, Inquisitor, I would appreciate it.
I guess the hero of River Dane's story finally came to an end. Loghain was the Ferelden ideal, you know, the common boy who freed his kingdom and became a Terran. He helped to end the Fifth Blight. The rest aside, that made him a hero. He wasn't the first good man to fall to Corypheus. He won't be the last. His story's no good for heroes.
We must be glad that Hawke made it back in one piece.
Yeah. Closest thing I've ever seen to a miracle there. Hawke asked me to tell everyone back in Kirkwall where she's going. I'll have to let Merrill know. I'd better write some letters. Excuse me.
Someone I knew once described Adamant to me. Adamant is, and always will be, the Order, he said. A guardian on the edge of the abyss. The lone soul that stares into oblivion and doesn't waver. That's what Warden Commander Clarel tried to be. Well, they all tried to be. None of the Wardens we saw wavered. They gave their lives willingly. They died for us. And Corypheus twisted their sacrifice to make it his own.
We stopped him. We saved most of the Wardens.
But not all of them. And they died thinking they were doing something good. There's no one to blame but Corypheus. Even Clarel's intentions were righteous. Her desire to protect was so great it led her astray. It's not right. To want to do good, to be good, and have that turned against you.
At the end of the day, I guess all we can do is try. And hope for the best.
You're right. What matters is that we never give up. Clarel made mistakes, but she was a great woman. And she died a great woman. It's not the armor or the trappings of the Order. It's not the joining. At the heart of it, all a Warden is a promise. To protect others, even at the cost of your own life.
Adamant's influence continues, your worship. I submit Lord Livius Erimond of Virantium, who remains loyal to Corypheus. We found him alive, offering extreme resistance, likely because the Order will ask for his head. In more colorful terms. To say nothing of justice you might personally require for what was suffered in the Fade.
Many places felt the pain of Adamant. You will answer for a great deal.
I recognize none of this proceeding. You have no authority to judge me.
On the contrary, many officials have communicated that they will defer to the Inquisitor on this matter.
Because they fear. Not just Corypheus, but Tevinter, rightful ruler of every piece of ground ye trod in your pathetic life. I serve the living God. Bring down your blades and free me from the physical. Glory awaits me.
Although willing, there is a group you have wronged more than any. Lord Livius Erimond of Virantium. The Wardens can have you. Let them take your head if they want it.
Their petty justice or yours, it matters not. Truth lies in the next world.
Another of the lingering pains of Adamant, your worship. Sir Ruth is a senior warden of the Order. She was one of the many who slit the throat of another to bind a demon. She does not contest this. In fact, she surrendered to us. She requests no mercy. She wants the public justice of the headman's axe.
You were free to rejoin your comrades, and yet you present yourself here.
There is no excuse for my actions. I murdered another of the Order. That blood marks me more than the Blight ever could.
Accepting their actions while thralls of Corypheus, many treaties allow wardens any extreme if it opposes the Blight.
I can't do it. I can't use the greater good to justify my crimes, as if it would create a future I could be a part of. It is wrong that this broke me. I've done worse with full sanction. I can do nothing except be an example of the cost.
We doubt when we're safe, when Blight is not at our throat. I can't judge a warden, Sir Ruth. No one has that right.
You have more faith in the Order than we ourselves have.